Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to talk about the James Charles and Wet n Wild situation. And before I get into that, I kind of just wanted to go over a few things about James because I think that this matters. This is a person that came up and got famous because of a lie. Now, okay, I'm going to get into the whole clout chasing thing in a second, but he did not actually retake his yearbook photo. He photoshopped it. Thomas Halbert exposed him for it. And and he also admitted that to Jeffree Star that he would lie to brands and act like he was bigger than he was to get PR, like a fake it till you make it kind of a thing. Still, it's a lie, you know? This is somebody that has stolen, copied, inspired by many makeup looks, video ideas, concepts, and rarely ever gives the proper credit to the proper person. And he acts like because he's so big on social media, he couldn't possibly see these looks because he doesn't follow these people, and because these people are much smaller, he would never see it. Well, you would see them if you go looking for them. And he just can't be honest saying, look at this beautiful makeup artist and build that person up and help that person gain some followers. I'm going to try to recreate their look. No, he acts like he's so creative and, oh, I just can't even sleep at night because I'm just so creative and I have all these ideas. But all these ideas are other people's ideas, you know? Most recently, he mysteriously woke up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and had this musical arrangement on his computer because like that happens to all of us, you know. And he didn't give credit to the group, the Sisters, until way after, you know, this like blew up and he was exposed. And he still acted like he had never heard it before. The kid cannot be honest. I'm sorry. And I think it matters because he's just has a history of like saying he doesn't want to be in the drama, but then he starts it. I mean, he's so entitled. He has started, you know, stuff with Kevin James Bennett, an Emmy Award-winning makeup artist whom I actually adore. Marlene Estelle, who has so much experience of being an influencer and a brand owner. It's like he feels like he has more experience, that he's smarter than them, that he knows more, that he's more talented. Those things are just not true. So he's always rubbed me the wrong way for all of those reasons. Recently, you know, Wet n Wild showed a picture that like you couldn't even really tell a lot from, but it's a rainbow palette from Wet n Wild. We didn't see the outer packaging, we saw the shades. He says, oh, you copied my palette. Oh, you know, there were rumors he was going to sue them. This is the thing, James, you don't own the rainbow palette. You didn't invent a rainbow palette, and you just have to get over yourself. What I find very hard to believe is that he said that he worked on this concept for 2 years prior to Morphe approaching him. One, I don't think that that's true. And if it is, good for you. You have a layout of a rainbow palette, which anybody can do. And it has been done before. Coastal Scents, Take Me Back to Brazil from BH Cosmetics. Like, come on. Even his palette sort of reminds me of the Morphe 35B. I think that's the one that it is. Only the arrangement is like the layout's different, but it does remind me of that palette and plenty of other palettes. What bothers me is he said he formulated these shadows himself. I did not know he had a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I did not know that he was a cosmetics chemist. I did not know this. When he's going to show us his PDF file or whatever of his layout, maybe he can show us this degree that he has. Now, he did say he formulated them himself. That is much different than Morphe coming to you with like different formulas and you feeling them and using them and picking one, which is, I'm sure, what he did, even if he did that much. He did not formulate this palette, and it just bothers me so much because people believe that he did. People believe that he is a cosmetics chemist, was in a lab. I would love to see his formulas, his trials and errors, and how he got certain formulas. And if he did, then why, like Jen Love's review said, was the red not really safe for the eye? You know, there's all this staining. People did get irritations. And Cody Rance isn't like my jam. That doesn't mean I hate her or anything like that. We're not all gonna like the same people. But the way that he treated her when she came out about the staining and the irritation, acting like, oh, well, you need to go see a dermatologist or something, it's just so bothersome. He can't even just be a decent human being in that moment, because God forbid anybody says anything bad about him or criticizes him, because in his eyes, he is perfect. And I think he loves the drama. I think he feeds on the drama. And this is the thing. To actually formulate formulas, you do have to have a bachelor's degree at least in chemistry and experience being a cosmetic chemist. He is not, obviously. And I just think it's so insincere. You know, it's such a bullshit thing to say. Like, oh, I formulated this all by myself. No, you picked some things that you liked. It's so different. So people started going after Wet n Wild, his sister stans. And by the way, that's a really pathetic sort of look where you're like defending your, you know, savior, James Charles, who couldn't care less about you guys, and, you know, crapping on this brand that, you know, they're just doing their thing. And I brought this down here with me because I remember buying this 3 years ago. It was this Wet n Wild like gift set thing. And I remember because, hello rainbow, there are multiple shades of all of these colors, you know, and it's not like this is anything different from Wet n Wild, you know. And if you want to call it a dupe, okay, but don't say that it's like theft, you know. There's nothing proprietary about a rainbow palette. I'm sorry, James. We don't know what the outside packaging looks like, but people are saying, oh, you copied James, but we don't even know what it looks like. By the way, this is actually really nice. And there are different, these are like shimmer, like glitter shadows on this side. And then on this side, you have a bunch of glosses and like lipsticks that you can like mix and match. Anyway, so I mean, it's not like they haven't done rainbows before. You know what I mean? It's just so crazy. I mean, it's makeup. And if I believed for 1 second that he was like this passionate and that he actually was in a lab formulating this and Wet n Wild stole his formula for their own shadows, we would have a different story here. But that is not the case. He is just upset because he thinks that it looks like his palette. A lot of other palettes look like your palette. Almost every other rainbow palette looks like your palette. Like, get over yourself, you know? And so, yeah, I understand, like, Wet n Wild was like, we didn't copy his price. They were like in some shady tweets. But imagine being that brand and having everyone, you know, all these sister stands like attack you. I kind of get why they were liking some of the tweets and stuff. And because James is so annoying that I think that they were just like, whatever, you know, we don't care. And then Morphe decided to get in it by posting like a collage picture of James' palette onto Instagram. And it totally blew up in their face because people were like, oh, I looked away immediately. People were saying, you know, oh, I always wanted to try this palette, but, you know, it's the fact that it has James' name on it that I didn't get it. Oh, I'm going to get the cheaper Wet n Wild version. This is the thing. Dupes exist for a reason. Brands for the longest time have been kind of copying other brands so that they can try to make money and, you know, offer an item or, you know, a product at a cheaper price. If dupes were illegal, Makeup Revolution would not exist, you know. So I just feel like this is another, and the thing is that he said that he was going to be talking about it very soon, which means he's going to do a video, which means it's going to be me, and I did this and I did that. And I'm telling you, if he says one more time that he formulated this palette himself, I am going to go crazy. I mean, and people that just blindly follow him, they don't care that he lies. They don't care that he steals people's looks. And, you know, and good for him. Now he has a taste of his own medicine, you know. He's been stealing all of these looks since he's been on YouTube, since he's been on Instagram, you know, and now somebody maybe copied or is duping his palette and now he's going to cry about it. And the thing is that he's so young, he's still rather successful, but he's never content. It's always something. He's always complaining about something, you know. I just don't get it. And I'm sorry, but if if I felt like he was so passionate about this palette and he actually came up with the formula in a lab, then I would feel differently. But he collabed with Morphe like so many other people do on basic palettes, you know? And I just feel like his ego is still so huge. He still has not changed whatsoever. And I find it very frustrating. This also reminded me of when Jeffree Star accused Kylie Jenner of copying his liquid lip component for hers. I mean, there's only so many colors that go in a palette. Like there's so many packaging, you know, so much packaging that you could choose from for lipsticks. But I found it odd because Jeffree didn't call out Wet n Wild, and their liquid catsuit like lipsticks are pretty much the exact same thing. You know, I think that the doe foot applicator is just a little bit smaller, but he had an exclusive deal, you know, with Wet n Wild to reveal one of their collections, either the mermaid or like that skull one. So that's probably why he didn't say anything. But this is the thing. It's just makeup at the end of the day. I don't think that he's passionate about any of this. We know for sure he did not formulate this palette himself. He didn't. And, you know, good for him if 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he came up with a rainbow palette in his head, which he probably stole that layout anyway. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I would love to stop talking about James, and I haven't made a lot of videos on him like recently because I just, you know, ignore him most of the time. But this just really rubbed me the wrong way. And yes, I agree that Wet n Wild, you know, could have been a little bit more professional. I get why they were being kind of shady. But you know, because having those people come after you and having it be James Charles, you're just like, whatever. But he's also super unprofessional. I mean, this is a kid that's supposed to like, you know, have, you know, he gets like PR, you know, he wears all these brands, he promotes all these brands, and he always has his butt hanging out, you know what I mean? So yeah, they're both pretty unprofessional, but I actually see where Wet n Wild is coming from here. Dupes aren't illegal, so I don't know if he actually plans on trying to sue Wet n Wild. I don't know. They said that that picture they released was the only picture they had. They debuted it at RuPaul's Drag Race, or DragCon, or whatever it was. You can't really see, you know, a lot of it. And I mean, I like Wet n Wild. I don't know that I'd get this palette because I have all these colors in one form or another, you know, so I don't think that I'll be purchasing it, but I also think that James just needs to calm down and get over himself. So you guys let me know, you know, what you think about this whole situation. What do you think about, you know, Wet n Wild doing this? What do you think about dupes in general, you know? Because there are some people that benefit from being able to get a cheaper product, you know what I mean? But let me know all your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys next video. Love and hugs. Bye.